So we're back on the rear axle of the HobbyBoss 1/35th scale M1070 truck tractor. In a previous video I had mentioned that we had made this steering linkage, I believe it is. So it's movable. Instructions say in one of the last steps that you glue them together. But I previously mentioned that I drilled them out and put in a small wire. And I finally got my digital calipers working again with a replacement battery. So just to show you, I use this wire, which is ancient for me. I think it's some kind of craft wire. I think I got it from Radio Shack. Who remembers Radio Shack? And then I measured it, and it said it was 'Can we even see that? There we go. Just about 1/2 millimeter. Which I believe is pretty close to 24 gauge. So anyway, I use that wire. It's bendable, but still has some strength to it. Based on the model, it doesn't need a ton of strength. So I drilled it out and then fixed it so it would be posable. So now I need to glue this in place while the tires, or the rims actually, are lined up parallel to each other. And also when we do that, we have to make sure that we only get glue in these 4 corners, not in the hole, because these 2 pins slide in the hole. If you get glue on them, they're going to stick here and then they won't turn. And eventually I will have to put some CA glue to keep this pin in that keeps falling out. But I don't want to lock it in place yet until I've gotten everything else lined up. It'll probably fall out again, but that's okay. And then if you remember, we're going to line it up by just taking a straight edge, making sure the rims are lined up. We're going to use some of this glue, which just came back in stock, fortunately, because it's got a very thin applicator tip, which is the good news. The slightly not good news is that it comes out pretty fast, so you have to be careful there. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get all of this on camera, but we'll give it a shot. So we're going to get the rims off. Actually, I'm not even going to put that pin back in because I don't care about that. Been nothing but a pain in the butt. Gonna get the glue flowing. So we'll see, it comes out pretty darn quick. So if we can just get don't need a lot. You can see just 4 dots will grab it. It'll spread itself out a little bit. Putting it more towards the edge. back in place. And I'm used to working with it this way. With, I guess we'll call it the, well, whatever, where the drive shaft goes in. And it goes this way. Great. All right, so one of the tricks is get them in the holes without getting glue on it. It's not that fast acting a glue, so that's not a big problem. So we have time to work it. Like I said, though, we don't want to get it on that pin. All the holes have to line up. There we go. All right. So now they're in. Glue is starting to set. The thing we want to be careful of is that they have to be lined up. So let's get our pin. So I'd say we have about 5 minutes to work it. That's one thing good about that glue. It takes about 5 minutes to get a good fix going, and then you could still rip it apart after about 10 minutes. But then eventually it sets pretty good. So the other thing we need to do is, you'll see we'll need to center that when we get it lined up. So get the rims on it. Get the rims parallel to each other. Get it so it's centered. And then you also want to make sure that these two are seated down so they glue solidly in place. All right, so that looks pretty good. Again, I might kick it over a little bit. Shouldn't matter after that. Once the glue sets up, we'll find out what reality is. All right, so again, the straight edge, the X-Acto knife, is allowing us to ensure that the rims are parallel to each other so the tires are on straight. Then the steering linkage needs to be fixed and set straight, which it should be. And why are we going through all this trouble? If you saw my other video, I did this one and I didn't make sure that it was straight, and you can see where it's cockeyed. Actually, let me put some rims on there. See if it accentuates it better or not. Actually, you can't see. Well, you can sort of see it. See how that's cockeyed? So that's why we're going through that effort. Although, is this? Yeah, that's the right way. So it's cockeyed. So now what I have to do is cut this in half and extend it so it's not cockeyed. I mean, I could rip it up here, but then that's going to cause a whole bunch of other problems. So I wasn't paying attention to that when I did this one. This is the front axle. This is where the steering linkage would be. Where does it tie in? Well, Can't remember. Somewhere in there. Oh, right there, I believe. I think your steering linkage ties into there, pulls it one way or the other, steers the tires. So we want to keep it steerable. And again, the instructions say glue these two pieces together, but if you glue them together, it will not be steerable. So if you want to build a kit quickly, just line them up, glue them together, bam, you're done. Otherwise, you got to drill them out, feed in your wire, go through all that hassle. And it's kind of foolish, but whatever. All right, I'm hoping to video when I actually cut this and fix it. Actually, I'm going to see if I can show you how cockeyed it is without the tires. Usually shows up better. Or maybe it doesn't. But that's how cockeyed it is. I mean, it doesn't look like it. It looks like something maybe 2 millimeters. So your truck would have a problem running down the road like that. Actually, probably wouldn't even see it on the model, but yeah, I'm not going to live with it. We'll fix it.